Hey, what's up, Seekers? Wanugee with Golden Dragon Fortunes, the K-Rap Psychic. And this is only our second time, so we're still learning how to do these live stream things. And Mei Lee is not with me today. She's a little bit under the weather. But anyway, so we'll just kind of do a little solo run here, and we'll keep it kind of short. Not as long as the last one. And but anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome to our live stream, K-Rap Psychic. I'm Wanugee with Golden Dragon Fortunes, your K-Rap Psychic, and we're going to look at the future for some K-pop idols. Today we're going to look at 3, and these are all by viewer requests, your requests. So if you want to see something, if you're want to know more about your favorite idol, then like and subscribe, and maybe put some requests here in the chat or in the comments later on. We'll try to keep up with it if we can, and get to them. So that's what today we're going to do. We're going to do three people, all my viewer requests, and we're going to take a look at this new girl group from YG called BabyMonster. And then we're going to be doing, by request, looking into Kim Taehyung of BTS future wife. And then we're going to be looking at Jimin and see what Jimin's 2023 is going to look like this year. So, and then if you have some Q&A, questions and answers, perhaps we'll look at those as well. So this is my first time doing this solo, so there's a lot of things to do at the same time. So we'll try to keep them organized, but bear with me if I'm not getting everything right the first try. So anyway, so let's see. Let's change the view here and look at BabyMonster. So this is a new girl group from YG Entertainment, and they were announced. They've been kind of making some rumbles about BabyMonster for a long time, kind of like they did with Blackpink. They kind of did a lot of previews, kind of slowly rolling out information, trying to get up the momentum and get some interest going in the industry from you guys. And they did the same thing with Blackpink. But now they're going to come up with this next new girl group. They had 21 before Blackpink in the second generation. Then third generation is Blackpink. They're going huge. They just finished their Asia tour and just added some dates. And I'm a Blink, but now it's BabyMonster. And this has been a project going on for at least 4 or 5 years. And it's about to be released and this year. And YG Entertainment, is going to be, releasing that, I think, in dribs and drabs, kind of a little by little. And so they first did a little, review here, a little kind of a hint here that there's going to be 7 members with this little picture that they showed. And then we're going to, then they're going to kind of release, I think, some information on each one of these members. So, let's look at some of the information about BabyMonster. Let's see. There's seven members, and it's still a little bit sketchy, and they're very young. They're all under 20 years old, as I believe. So they are really babies. But they're also monsters, because they're going to be monster rookies, because that little video that kind of showed them those 7 silhouettes, that was viewed at least 20 to 30 million times within 1 week, within 10 days. So they have a huge interest already, just because you don't even know who they are. They don't show faces, but it's going to be, it's already got 20 or 30 million views on YouTube. Just that little 1 minute, 1.5 minute, whatever it is, 2 minute video. But we do have a little bit of information about the members. So, and they're very young. And I'm going to go from the youngest to the oldest, because the oldest is a little bit unclear. So the first one is Chiquita. She's age 13. She's very young, and she's Thai. She's from Thailand, like Lisa from Blackpink. Next one is Diane. She's 14. She's Korean. And the next one is Haram. And Haram is the first one that they've revealed. And she's age 15. And she's Korean. And then there's Ahyeon. And Ahyeon is Korean as well. And she's 15. And then there's Preeta. Preeta is age 17, and she's Thai as well. In fact, she's been spending a lot of time with Lisa. Lisa's been kind of looking after her Thai sisters. And so, Lisa has spent some time helping Preeta, probably Chiquita too. But Preeta's, kind of reminds her of her. Reminds Lisa of Lisa, perhaps to some degree. Then there's Asa, and Asa, she's 17, probably 17. She could be 18, but I think she's more 17. And she's Japanese. And she, anyways, she's, she's the first Japanese one. Now the next one is kind of murky. We don't really know. There's been some different information about them. Let me just see if we can see this without me. We don't know this person's age. There's some indications. At first, they thought it was some outlets thought it was somebody named Mirin. Mirin is actually, it's kind of a Japanese name, which is kind of, it depends on the characters, but mirin means there's a sweet rice wine called mirin that you use for cooking. But anyway, then it was like Ruduka, and that was kind of, she had some information out there in the outlets, and most people were guessing who was in the group. And then I think maybe closer now is Rhoda. Rhoda, we don't have a lot of information on her, but I think Rhoda is Korean, but maybe that's wrong. Maybe she's Japanese, because Rhoda is not really a Korean name, I don't think. Rhoda could be kind of a westernized, Japanese version of a westernized name, like Lola would be Rhoda. So I don't know who the seventh member is, to tell you the truth. So maybe you guys can get more information and let me know. But the question, the first person that was released or become aware of is Haram. So let's look at her real quick. So here she is. It's Haram, Shin Haram, BabyMonster, and this request was by a viewer, Baemon, which is another name that was registered for BabyMonster, Baemon. BAE, is kind of a popular term. It kind of represents an acronym for before anyone else. So that's you're my babe. That came from you're my babe, which is English for, affection. So my babe went from, a few years ago from babe to bae, Baemon. And then Baemon is like Pokemon, so pocket monster. And then Baemon is like maybe my babe, or before anyone else, monster. So BabyMonster. So anyway, she's 15, as we said, and her date of birth is October 17th, 2007. Wow. So, and her birthplace is South Korea. So she's Korean. She's a Libra. as far as horoscope in the Western, and in Chinese horoscope, she's a pig. And Libras, tend to be um, kind of, see both sides of everything. They're they try to be fair. They try to be, interactive with people. I have some Libra friends, and pigs are tend to be social and friendly. In fact, Kim Taehyung, V, is a pig. Obviously before it's a 12-year cycle. So yeah, friendly, outgoing, um, and I don't have it on here, but do I have it on here? No. The life path numerology for uh, Shinhara. She's a number 9. Number 9 is got a lot of interesting qualities. They tend to be, compassionate and kind of humanitarian. So if they think of others, they're, they're friendly, they're versatile, a little bit mysterious. They could have had a challenging past, and they can get a little bit scattered at times. But they have kind of an old soul, and because of that, they maybe tend to maybe preach or say their mind in certain ways. But they're charismatic, and they're creative, and they're adaptable. So, number 9, this is Shinhara. And she joined YG in 2017, 5 years ago, at the age, I guess, of 10, because she's 15 now. So she started when she was 10 years old in YG. Wow. And is that too young? I don't know. It seems pretty young. But she had some background. She was a child model. She did commercials. So she's always kind of been in the spotlight. And she's trained for 5 years. So a long time. 5 years that's about as long as, almost as long as Jenny, and it's longer than, it's about the same as Lisa, and longer than Rose from Blackpink. And she's the first member to be really revealed in January 12th, 2023, just actually a day or two ago. So Korean time. So let's kind of look at her future and see what the towels say as far as Shinhara. And what I'm going to do is on BabyMonster, hey Baemon, just want to let you know that I'm just going to kind of do each one as a reveal, if I can keep up with it, and do them one by one, because it's kind of hard to do them all, and to do the whole group. So I like to focus on individuals because everybody's an individual. So let's take a look and see what my tiles say as far as Shinhara. So let me put down here where I'm going to place the tiles, and let me just tune in a little bit to her. And then I'm going to pick some tiles. Oops. So just, for you BabyMonster people, fans, or it's hard to be a fan because you have never seen them perform. You don't even know what kind of concept they are. But, there was some speculation that YG, because of all the girl crush, fourth generation girl group concepts, you got all those groups that are, kind of girl crush oriented, whether it's, if you go back to G Idol a few years ago, or you go to ITZY, or, about 3 years ago, or if you go to some of the newer ones, like, there's so many fourth generation girl groups, I can't keep track. There's so many of them. But, there's New Jeans, and there's Weekly, and there's, I don't know, IVE, and LE SSERAFIM, and there's so many that And a lot of them went, because of the success of Blackpink, a lot of them went to the kind of the girl crush concept, or Mamamoo. It's popular as well, you know. So kind of moved away from the Twice and the JYP cutesy cutesy kind of concept. Um, so there was some speculation that YG would go from the traditional kind of R&B, you know, put it out there, from Big Bang and 21 from the second generation, you know, and maybe kind of change it up and go cutesy, go, kind of fresh young girl group to just go opposite of all the other people that are going toward the girl crush concept. But I don't know if that's true. It's hard to see because YG is kind of girl crush, kind of swag, rap, that kind of thing. So it's hard to kind of foresee Baemon or BabyMonster doing, you know, cutesy stuff. Doing Twice or Oh My Girl or those kind of groups that traditionally were doing more cute concepts, younger concepts. But we'll see because they're all pretty young. So I don't know. I don't know if they can kind of pull off at 13. This whole swag thing. I mean, I don't know if it's appropriate. If they're going to be doing a lot of more attitude and more swag and more mature concepts. I mean, they're all under 20 years old. So officially in Korea age, they're all underage. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Um, anyway, let's let's see what the towels say for. Um, it says that in the next three months or so, there's going to be a feeling like something special is starting to happen, and the pearl shows up and says maybe some nice energy is going to start to reveal itself, or she's going to feel that that's starting to happen, or she realizes it's possible finally after 5 years, and that's going to allow her an opportunity to let go of all the disappointments, all the delays, all the hard work, and do some healing, some emotional healing to kind of put that behind her and feel like she's finally getting there. And it seems to say that there's going to be some commitment that's going to happen in the next 3 months, probably around April, May, June, or May, June, July. The tiger shows up, says maybe there's going to be something happening here with authority. So maybe that's YG. And maybe there's something more official going on with them, with her and BabyMonster, and there's going to be a commitment. So to me, I get a sense that even though they said, BabyMonster's coming January 1st, 2023, they're just saying that that's when they're going to start revealing who they are. That they take Shin Haram and, and reveal her kind of in a sketchy way, they're going to have to go through all 7 of them. And if they take 1 week, that's going to be 7 weeks. Or if they take 2 weeks between each one, that's going to be 14 weeks. So that's going to be like 3.5 months. So I have a feeling that they're not going to be, launched very soon. It's going to be a little bit later because YG tends to do that, tends to kind of delay things and keep you kind of waiting, wondering, just like they do with Blackpink album comebacks, So I wouldn't, expect them to come out too soon. If you're really anxious, you might have to wait till, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe March, April, May, maybe, maybe even longer. We'll have to see. But the towels seem to say that it's going to be in about 6 months, 3 to 6 months, because this tiger represents this authority. So maybe that's the launch, the debut, what YG decides, or represents a commitment that maybe she has to make and everybody else has to make to get that going, and maybe start to do things that have to do with schedules and promotions and all those things. And it says that in the fall, as she kind of goes to July, August, September, she's going to be doing a lot of talking, communicating, with her group probably, and there's going to be nicer energy around her. That's the fall's going to be good for her. She's going to feel like, at least summertime, July, August, September, summer into fall. There's going to be a nicer energy because this is called the chrysanthemum. It represents something beautiful, refined, and precious, like a chrysanthemum flower. So it seems to say that there's going to be something nicer there. energy-wise in late summer, and that's also going to allow her to let go some, do some healing, do some emotional healing from all her hard work and all her efforts and all her members' efforts uh, in Baemon, BabyMonster. And as you kind of go out to the end of the year, she's going to feel like, she's had a lot of success. She finally made it. She kind of got out there, debuted. The center tile shows up. It says everything kind of comes together to the center, starts to fit, right time, right place, and feels like there's some achievement and accomplishment. So it looks like it's going to be a good debut. And then the Lotus shows up. It says, as they start the new year, there's going to be some new things they're going to be working on. The Lotus represents enlightenment and awakening. So maybe they're going to kind of be able to look at what they did and how they did it and get them ready to move to the next phase of their career and start maybe with a comeback. So this implies that maybe toward the end of the year and beginning of the new year, they're going to be looking at some type of comeback. So that's what it says for Shin Haram of BabyMonster. And thanks, Baemon, for asking that question. And we're going to look at each one as they kind of get closer. So if you want to keep asking me or reminding me, let me know. That's fine. So anyway, so thank you, Baemon and BabyMonster. I'm looking forward to it as well because it's kind of very curious how they would do a YG type of, vibe and swagger with these underage girls. I mean, they were, wow, some of them were very young, 13, 14, 15, pretty young. So let's see what, there's some new people's in here. Sitya? Oh. He's a Thai actor. Oh, okay. Thai actor. I'll have to do some research on that, Cynthia, because I don't know who this person is. Titapong Tachapak Techapakan, Thai actor. Okay. And anyway, so thanks for that request, but I'll have to look that up and do it maybe next in a future period. So let's go to the next thing here, and let's look at Tate's wife. So this is a request by Serendipity. She's been hounding me for months, maybe weeks, certainly. I want to make a comment about this future wife thing, okay? Because this kind of forced me to look at it because I don't really watch other fortune tellers on K-pop on YouTube. We're busy. We do this kind of as kind of a fun and kind of getting people interested in fortune telling, and we love K-pop, so that's why we're kind of doing K-pop as a focus. But we're fortune tellers full time. We tell fortunes at events, and we have individual clients. So we've done over 250 events, corporate and private, from wedding showers and bridal showers and birthdays and anniversaries for private people. And we've done it for corporations where we do team building events, we do their holiday parties, their Halloween parties, all kinds of corporate things where we're working with high powered big companies in the Silicon Valley here, big names that you would recognize, and so we've done 250 of those, and then we have our own individual clients. So Golden Dragon Fortunes, we do this full time, and so we have over 800 people that have seen us more than once. We've done lots of people, but we have 800 that have come back at least once, maybe more, to get another reading. So we must have told them something right. So anyway, so I'm not just having fun sitting in my bedroom, because I kind of looked at who is okay, yeah, so different months. Yeah, we've been waiting for months. I kind of said, okay, this seems to be a trend. It seems to be a trend that there's a bunch of or fortune tellers that are on YouTube and they're doing BTS, the most popular boy group or K-pop group ever, and and I noticed some common things about these people, these YouTube channels. First are is they use tarot cards, okay? And I call them the shufflers. They like to do the shuffle thing, this is how they do it. They do this shuffle thing and they wait for something to fall out. You know? And they say, oh, this is, they falls out and they say, oh, this is what, you know. So that's one. They kind of use tarot, you know. Number two is, and I guess I should, I have a thing for this. Um, yeah, down here, it's just kind of a trend by other K-pop quote fortune tellers who may or may not have any professional experience. Um, I mean, I don't know who they are, but what I noticed was that they're all faceless. They never show their face, so you don't know who they are. And and then that's one common thing. I think maybe one or two show their face, but 99% don't show their face. They just show the cards. This is kind of like the people that do the pick a card kind of fortune telling. They just kind of put three decks out there and they say pick a deck, and then that's going to be your future. But they kind of stack that deck to kind of tell a story. So it's totally, it's kind of like reality TV. It's like totally heavily produced. It's not really live and interactive. Anyway, so if that's your thing, fine, go watch it. The and then they're shufflers. They kind of like have this, like this shuffler, kind of thing, and I don't know, let me get back on here. So they're kind of doing this stuff and waiting for something to fall out, and then falls out and say, oh, okay. Um, so I don't know. Um, but I want to use a little bit of logic here too, a little bit of common sense, because let's take a look at that. Okay. Um, oops, oops. So Kim Taehyung is 28 years old. He was born in December 30th, 1995, and he's a Capricorn, just like me. I'm a Capricorn. I'm like I was born January 3rd, so I'm just 4 days after my birthday is 4 or 5 days after him, and he's his numerology life path is number three, and so is mine. Mine is three as well. So there's some things that maybe I can relate to him a little about. We're both Capricorns. We both have a life path of three. Um, so maybe I can talk just kind of extemporaneously about Kim Taehyung's wife. But before we do that, we have to realize that he's 28 and he's going to be performing and trying to get the most out of his career right now while he can. You know, his eldest member, Jin, has already entered the South Korean army. He just enlisted recently. So, then it's going to be, they're going to start going in there one by one. Namjoon, and Taehyung, V, is probably going to enlist around 2025 or 2026. So within about 2 or 3 years, he's going to turn 30. He has to enlist in the South Korean army. So then he's going to have to serve maybe 20 months. I mean, almost 1 to 2 years, depending what he does. So that's going to mean that he's going to enlist when he's around 30. This is American age or Western age. The Korean age is hard to keep track of, so he may be 31. So he may be even a little bit sooner. He might do it in 20. His birthday is the end of 2025, so maybe he'll do it that year. And then he's going to serve maybe up to close to 2 years. So he's going to be like 31 or 32. About 5 years from now, before he gets out of the army, and he has to reestablish his career. And then he's got to meet somebody. I don't think he's going to be developing a relationship much while he's in the military. So so that's going to lead him to be maybe about 5 years from now, 6 years from now, 7 years from now, before he would ever get close to being married. So he's not going to marry until he's in his mid-30s, probably 35. No, he said that maybe he wants to, on one of these video programs, he said he wanted to do, have 3 kids or up to 5 kids, which, it's a lot of kids, but that's what he kind of said on his bucket list. I don't know if that's true and he's just joking around. I mean, he jokes around a lot. So does, all the BTS members. They joked around about he named his son, Kim Chi. It's a joke. I mean, his name is Kim and then Chi. Yeah, but kimchi is also the pickled cabbage that every Korean eats. So, he's just joking around. But, he's going to be probably mid-30s before he marries. So if he really wants to have more than, one kid, then his wife is going to have to be younger than him. It's going to be, have to be a younger woman to be able to have multiple kids, because he's going to be 35 and she's 35. I mean, it could be possible, but it's highly unlikely that, their relationship would be able to create or, birth 3 kids. I mean, there's many ways to start a family. There's adoption and there's other things, but, or maybe that person might have kids. But I'm just getting kind of realistic here to say that I don't understand why people, I guess it's, everybody's hoping that maybe they could be Kim Taehyung's wife, but that's not going to happen. If you're not near him or see him or get a chance to meet him or spend time with him, you're not going to be his wife. But it's good fantasy when you're, thinking about your idols. I understand that. But realistically, he's going to be probably mid-30s by the time he gets married. And he'll probably have a younger wife if he wants to have a family. And this wife is going to have to be beautiful, because of course he's attractive, but he's been around the K-pop scene for many years, and so he's been around very beautiful women, beautiful people for quite a long time, and so that's probably going to be a criteria. But so what serendipity, our viewer asked was really kind of, is this person going to be, what kind of career they're going to be? Would be in law, medicine, or entertainment? And my feeling is that, when he's around 35, out of the army, more mature and maybe not quite as popular, because it's going to be, everybody that followed him is going to be busy doing other things, and there's going to be new idols that are going to be very popular, behind him. So, I think that he's going to, be attracted to somebody who's very attractive. But my sense is that he's going to be, involved with somebody who looks attractive. Maybe he has to be probably younger to fit his plans. But they're going to be a strong personality. I think they're going to be probably more mature and more down to earth and more practical in a lot of ways than V is, because I think he likes that. I think at times he can be kind of goofy, and I think he needs a little bit of somebody who can keep him on the right path and be more mature. And let's face it, he's been a K-pop idol for many years and had a lot of things that it's kind of a bubble. He's been in his own bubble for a long time. So reality, of paying the bills and doing the wash and taking care of the kids and being good to your wife and all these responsibilities is something that's a little bit foreign to him, because he's just been traveling and working hard and making music and seeing a lot of adoration from fans. So it's going to be a huge adjustment when he's ready to settle down. So I think his future wife is going to be younger, but strong and down to earth to kind of keep him together, but also very loyal and dedicated to him because that's what he wants. He said it, he wants to have that kind of dedication and loyalty that they just really love him. So, but I think there's going to be a kind of a tricky adjustment for him when he gets out and he gets to that part of his life. His middle age is going to be some big adjustments for him. I mean, he's still going to be popular, but these are all factors that you have to kind of think about. So I'm not using any tarot cards and shuffling some decks, and just kind of, because I can just see what falls out and says, oh, this falls out, and that means that, I don't know. In fact, this is the learner. Says it. He's going to be learning about things before he gets married, so he's going to have to find somebody he can learn from. So, but I don't, I think they're going to be perhaps, somebody that has that strong will, but really loves him. So I don't know if law and medicine are the exact things that his wife is going to be, because they're going to have their own careers, and maybe that's a good thing because maybe they can make some money. But he's got a lot of money right now. But if they're going to be busy on their own careers, and he wants a lot of, supposedly a lot of kids, that's going to be a conflict. That's going to be a conflict for the wife and him. So I don't think law and medicine, especially both those, would take a lot of education, a lot of training, a lot of money, a lot of time. Lawyers are, I have lawyer clients, and they're burnt out. Many of them are burnt out. They're like, hey, I don't want to be a lawyer anymore because it's too challenging. I don't have any free life. I'm working late every day. And I have, I have medical people. I have doctors and nurses and as clients too. And there's a big commitment there too. I mean, maybe nurse, somebody that maybe is caring and giving, may be good. But a doctor would be more challenging because they have to kind of go through like 8 years of school, maybe more. And then they have to do, they have to be interns. They have to go through rounds and, all that stuff. And then they have to find a place to practice. And they might have to leave to a different part of the country to do that. So a lot of challenges there. So probably they're not going to be as accomplished that way, even though those people may be strong people that might be good for V. So, of the three that you asked, serendipity, I would say that they're probably going to be in the entertainment field or some other field that that you haven't mentioned. But I don't think they're going to be a big idol. I think that's going to be too challenging, to get that developed. So, maybe somebody that is on the periphery of that industry. I don't know if they're, business part of it or, some ancillary services or, interactions. It could be, I think it would be probably, maybe if it was in the entertainment industry, it'd probably be better to be an actor than a K-pop idol because, if they're K-pop idols and they're in a group, they're going to be, they're going to be kind of buttoned up for 7 years, and there's going to be not a lot of time. But actors, they may have some free time between, their roles. So, if it was going to be somebody really famous, it would have to be somebody probably in acting. But I don't think it has to be that. It could be just somebody who, is maybe related to those industries that isn't so famous, that doesn't put so much pressure on the situation. So anyway, that's my take on it for now. So, Kim Taehyung, we'll see what happens. But you're gonna have to wait 5, maybe 7 years to maybe more, maybe 10 years before you find out. So, we're gonna all be doing different things by then, I think. But anyway, thanks for the question. So then the next person was Jimin and BTS, and this was a request by Bhavya. Hey Bhavya, if you're watching, welcome. I think Bhavya, maybe is it Bhavya or Serendipity? I think both of you guys are maybe in the subcontinent area, India, that area, perhaps. Yeah, maybe about 12, 13 hours ahead of me. So maybe it's about, midnight, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. Anyway, so Jimin, just to let you know, I did a Indian Vedic astrology reading for Jimin a couple of years ago. So you can check on my channel. Maybe I'll put a card up there or someplace. Check on my channel, K-Rap Psychic, and you'll see that I did a long, reading for Park Jimin, but I kind of used the Vedic Indian astrology technique and mentioned some things about him. So it's really interesting. You might want to watch that. But today we're just going to look in the future and for the next year. Now, things got off with a bang this year for him because he just released, just in the last day or so, a collaboration with a big idol from the previous generation. The big group, big boy band before, really the biggest boy band before BTS became so popular was a group called Big Bang. Big Bang was, I think they started in maybe 2006 or 7 or somewhere way back then. So, 12, 15 years ago. And Big Bang was a big group, 5-member group from YG Entertainment. Same group, same agency as Blackpink and BabyMonster and 21 back then. So Taehyung is became a solo. He left the big band. He kind of became a soloist, and he had some issues, some legal issues and what have you. But so he's been kind of, not around much. I mean, he did some acting too. But he's been kind of quiet for the last several years. But he just did a collab with Jimin, and it's a really good vibe. It's really got good song, good kind of swagger, got a good male energy to it. And you might want to check it out. It just came out, so it's Taeyang, Taeyang, and Jimin doing a thing together I think it's called Vibe. So you might want to check that out. But let's look at Jimin's future because, he's just a couple of years older than V, a couple of months older, than V. They were both born in 1995. And so he's going to have to kind of go into the army as well, or the military, South Korean military, probably in 2025 or so as well. So, then he's going to be kind of locked into that for about 20 months. So, between a year and a half and 2 more years. So, but we're just going to look at the next year and see what's going on. But he's got a great start with this collab with Taeyang with Vibe. So check it out. But I'm going to look at these tiles and see what's going on. So let's look over here. Let's focus on Jimin and see what the tiles say for him. Okay. Alrighty, so for Park Jimin, again, we're going to start from the center work out where it says that, he started something new here. That's probably this collab, but maybe that's going to open up some new things or new ideas. I think, all these BTS members, now that Jin, the senior, just went into the army, it's going to be kind of a train of guys who are going to have to get ready for the army. So they're all going to be spending more time on some of their own projects. Just like Namjoon, RM, was coming out with some of his own projects just recently. So, now we got Jimin doing this collab. So I think there's going to be more activities in that way. And it seemed like, what he's just done is something new, and that's going to kind of reverberate for the next 3 months. And it kind of fits some of his goals or objectives that he's trying to accomplish. Because this West Towel represents his goals and his objectives. And as he kind of moves forward, it looks like there's going to be something new that he wants to do again. that probably in 3 to 6 months, at least we'll start to work on it, that may be creative. This represents creativity. It also represents performing. It's called the lute, L-U-T-E, represents a string instrument, so it kind of represents the performing arts to some degree, being on stage, but also creativity, but also kind of a harmony and comfort. So he's going to be maybe working on something new that he wants to put out there that he feels can resonate with what his direction is for 2023, which is going to be a little bit different than just BTS. And it says that that's going to continue. It's going to kind of move slowly in the right direction, right path. So I think he's going to be working on this for some time, trying to realize what it is. And it says that things, seem like it's going to be, he needs to be flexible and adaptable, because it's going to take, he's moving on the right path, but it's going to take more time than, perhaps, he would like it to take. So, but the turtle says he's on the right path and it's moving in the right direction. But this willow tree says he has to bend with the wind and not break and not get stressed out about it. So, looks like he's trying to develop some new things here, and there's going to be some things coming up, some new things coming up as well, probably mid-year. And so expect, or at least he'll be working on it. So expect some new things for Jimin in general. Anyway, I don't know if that answers your question, Bobia, but you can. That's kind of what it says for Jimin. So, see if there's any other. Yeah. So after how many years will he meet her? I think serendipity. It's going to, like I said, he's going to be 32, 33 before he has a chance to do that, because I don't think he's going to start a relationship before he goes into the army. He wants to try to get as much as he can from the military, not army like for the fans, but he's going to be trying to get the most out of what he can with his career before he gets enlisted. And so then he has to wait a couple of years after he gets out. So it's not going to be for, like I said, 5 to 7 years before he meets that person and gets involved with that person. So anyway, right, yeah. So yeah, it's normal for celebrities to marry non-celebrities. Yeah, because it's hard to be two celebrities. Schedules, conflicts. It's not easy. So anyway, after how many years will they meet? It's going to be 5 to 7 years. My guess, my thought is. Fati, okay, please for Park Jimin future wife. We'll have to do that next time, maybe. But appreciate you guys coming on, and like and subscribe so you can know when we're going to do this again. We might do this tomorrow, in fact. Tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. I'll see if I can get something together. So like and subscribe so you can kind of hear when we're going to be out there doing this live video. But I think that's all for now. So until next time, wishing you all good fortunes.